I'm Terrence Stollard, the host of Comic Culture. We're in Charlotte for HeroesCon 2018. We shot some interviews on the first day, and we're bringing them to you now. I'm talking with Matt D. Wilson, not the colorist. He's a writer of many things, including Supreme Villainy and Everything Will Be Okay. So, Matt, can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in comics?
Sure. So I've been into comics pretty much my whole life. I've also been very into comedy and humor writing. So I started in like online humor writing and doing that kind of thing, but I was working for Crack.com for a long time, and the very short-lived Crack magazine revival, which I think only went 4 issues. But from that, I started my own comedy website, and I just happened to be working at a newspaper at that time, and I didn't want to write things under my own name because I was worried that my bosses would see what I was writing and think that that wasn't lacked journalistic integrity because it was these like kind of goofy humor pieces. So I started writing under the name King Oblivion Ph, and I started a website called the International Society of Supervillains. In the course of that, I developed the voice for this character who is sort of like a Dr. Doom type of guy, like this greatest supervillain in the world. And I wrote the first book, the Supervillain Handbook, just for fun. I just kind of started writing as this guy and kind of couldn't stop. And I self-published that. That ended up being published as the Supervillain Handbook. Then that became the Supervillain Field Manual, which followed that. And then Supreme Villainy came out last year, which is King Oblivion's autobiography, his life story. And in the meantime, I've been writing comics the whole time, because that's something I've also kind of been doing on the side since I was in my late teens. It's just been a matter of finding artists to work with because I have no artistic talent of any kind. The words I'm good with, the lines on the page I'm not so good with. And it's actually been through podcasting that I've been able to find artists to work with on some of the projects that I've been doing. So Everything Will Be Okay was funded through a Kickstarter last year. It's a 5-issue miniseries, and the 5th issue is being completed now. And so, yeah, it just keeping a lot of irons in the fire and doing things that are exclusively words and working with artists on things that are words and pictures and trying to do it all.
It's funny too because Dr. Doom is one of those characters that is ripe for that kind of examination because he's always painted as very grandiose, and yet in the end he's always going to lose.
Yeah.
So what is it about that sort of character that you can find the humor in?
I think there's something internally funny about a character who always loses. Almost no matter what, they always lose. Even when it seems that they might win, they ultimately lose. And yet they have unwavering confidence. I've always enjoyed the kind of character type of the scoundrel, and I love the weaselly, cowardly scoundrel, but I also love the scoundrel who has no self-awareness. They can do no self-examination, and so when I write as King Oblivion Ph, he's the most unreliable narrator. He's constantly talking about contradictory things, as though, I've never lost anything ever, and here's where my layer fell apart in 1937. It's saying two things at once, straight-facedly, and with utter belief that anyone will believe it. So it's very fun to write as that character, when I could not be more opposite of that.
And so if someone's interested in getting a copy of the books, is this something that's like on Amazon or retail, or is it through a website?
Definitely on Amazon. At least the King Oblivion books are. My comics are mostly available digitally on Comixology and through me. Like one of my comics, Copernicus Jones, you can buy on Gumroad, which is a website where people sell independent books. But the King Oblivion books, all on Amazon, and I know that they're available in a good many bookstores, Barnes & Noble or local bookstores, depending on what's in your area. But the newest one, Supreme Villainy, should definitely be in bookstores now.